Cardinals down 4-1 after 2 innings, but as Alexa and Tommy mentioned, they're chipping away, getting a pair in the 3rd inning, and then in the 4th inning, well, Yadier Molina got it started with a leadoff double down the right field line, and the Cardinals kept piling on from there. Tommy Edman again with a 3-hit afternoon as he would score a double there, and the Cards would continue. This wild pitch would go back, and Mundo Sosa would score. And then how about this? Corey Dickerson just legging this one out for an infield single. And the Cardinals still had a rally rolling. And then Dylan Carlson with a big afternoon for the Redbirds, not only defensively but offensively, as he gets a triple here, scores a pair of runs, and the Cardinals bust out with a 5-run 4th inning to take the lead at 8-3, and they cruise to the 10-5 win. All right, so we kind of break down the numbers in this series. There you see the first 2 games, the Cardinals, well, of course, they only get in the 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th on Monday, but look at what happened today. 10 runs, 5 extra base hits, and I think that's a big one down at the second to last row there. Average with runners in scoring position. That's something the Cardinals have really struggled over this last week or so, batting .444, only striking out 9, of course, batting .385 in this final game against the New York Mets, and going up against a pitcher in Carlos Carrasco, who has one of the better ERAs in all of Major League Baseball, and the Cardinals got him out early. Cardinals come away with a victory by a score of 10-5 at Busch Stadium. Ricky Horton joins us from Busch Stadium, and Ricky, that was fun in many different ways this afternoon.
Yeah, well, the story of the game in some people's eyes is going to be the kind of the scrum on the field, and Arenado getting angry by having a pitch under his chin, and of course we understand that. And the real story, honestly, the real story is the Cardinals' offense, what they were able to do, being down 4-1 early in a game where you're following 2 games where you didn't have any offense, and then you've got the Mets just pitching lights out here in this series. And I think a lot of credit goes to the Cardinals offense in general. Yadier Molina got it going with a double in that inning, but being able to bat around and come back after kind of being pushed around a little bit, that was very impressive.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get to the talk of this whole series that started last night. The hits batters, as we had 5 of them, it started with this changeup by Cody Whitley, hitting Pete Alonso. He was not happy, started chirping at Whitley, then Buck Showalter and some of the Mets started coming out onto the field, and both benches, as we mentioned last night, were warned of this. And then more. There's Ottavino hitting Tommy Edman, but that's a curveball, and you don't think that that's on purpose, right?
Right, nor do I think you're going to hit somebody with the bases loaded. Marte got mad about this. He should have been happy. He just drove in a run. I never got that. But the point is, there were a few more of those today, including this one. This one hits the foot of J.D. Davis and then up and in on Nolan Arenado. That's what we saw today. And Nolan was looking for an answer. We didn't get the answer he wanted. And I think the more he thought about it, the angrier he got. And Nito tried to kind of stop things, and then Nito was literally brushed aside. And then there was a big scrum right at home plate. And I know that Alonso was one of the guys that was pulled out of the way, and Cabrera was kind of around there helping as well. But I think Stubby, what you do in those situations is you protect your own players. Right. That's what Stubby was doing, is making sure he got a hold of the guy that might have been the maddest on the other team and maybe the biggest on the other team. And Nolan clearly was upset, and a lot of pitches up and in, and the why and the how of that. Of course, Chris Bassett had a lot to say last night about the baseballs are part of the problem. I don't know if that's true or not, or whether it's just guys throwing 100%, or also hitters, as we mentioned in the pregame, hitters having approach now where you're leading with your hands right towards where the pitch is coming, and you don't have as much time to get out of the way, and you've got so many guys throwing in the upper 90s on top of that. But honestly, just it could have been worse. I guess it could have been better too, but the fact that no one was really hurt kind of in that brawl is not even a brawl, a scrum, I think is a good thing.
Well, probably for a Stubby Clapp, he probably looked out for a guy like Alonso. We know Alonso was not happy, and obviously so, for getting hit in the helmet. Between him and Scherzer, they were the one that were doing the most barking in the game last night. So Stubby's probably trying to, as you mentioned, diffuse the situation. Also, during that scrum, somewhere along the way, Dylan Carlson, I can't find him when we ran the replay. We'll see it here again, but he didn't return to the game. Remember, Brendan Donovan came in to hit for him in the bottom of the 8th and then played over in the right field. Looked at the box score, and it just had Arenado and Stubby Clapp getting ejected, but Dylan Carlson was not a part of the ejection. So hopefully there's nothing wrong with Dylan Carlson as far as an injury or anything concerned during that scrum there in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, Scotty, that was my concern exactly. And what my comment at the time was, I kind of hoped Dylan Carlson got thrown out of the game because it would be worse if he was stepped on or turned in or something. So we don't know. We're waiting to find out, and I hope we will find out soon if anything did happen. It would be odd to have him come out of that game at that time because you've got ejections, you've got already used a pinch hitter, you've already gone to your bench, you don't want to use another player. I mean, the game was close enough that you might need somebody later. So the move would not have made sense other than something going on with Dylan Carlson there, and so we'll have to wait and see on it. But at least where I saw, I could not see him involved in anything bad either. In fact, there really wasn't a lot of nobody's throwing punches in this. Nobody was being really agitated. You're just defending your guys. What you said about Stubby, that's what you do. You don't grab your own guy because that guy's going to become vulnerable. You grab the other guy and try to neutralize him. That's what you do in those situations, and Stubby was just being a good teammate right there.
Well, as we saw, Blues coach Craig Berube was also in the stands, and you don't want to mess with Chief. Luckily, maybe he was already left the game because he would have really diffused the situation. Well, let's go downstairs, Ricky, to you and hear from the Cards manager, Ollie Marmol. Hopefully we'll get an update on all of this, and it's brought to you by the Painting and Decorating Foundation.
Yeah, that was definition of competition right there. They competed really well. That first game against them was a kick in the gut. The second one straight up beat us. To come out day game and compete the way we did was impressive. I enjoyed watching it.
Ollie, how does it shake out from your perspective in the bottom of the 8th there on the first pitch high inside to Nolan?
I didn't love it at all.
Do you take exception to the way that it was done?
I do, entirely. When you come up top like that and jeopardize someone's career in life, yeah, I take exception to that. And I don't think anyone in the big leagues appreciates getting thrown up top. Nolan has every right to react the way he did and go after him, and we'll protect that.
Do you have an explanation as to why you guys got ejected and it didn't seem like any of theirs did?
No, I'd like one though. Yeah, I'd like an explanation for it because the one I got wasn't good enough.
Dude, can you share with us the one you got on the field? Do you feel comfortable saying that?
No, but the one I received wasn't good enough. I'll just leave it at that.
What was the roll call? Stubby and
Stubby
Nolan
got ejected.
And the Dylan?
And no, Dylan came out, his foot, his toe, he jammed it, hitting first. His last at bat, he played through it a little bit and then came out of the game. The other ejection was Nolan. Yeah, so Carlson was not ejected.
Is he all right, though?
Yeah, he's fine. I just got an update on that, and he's okay.
He jammed his toe doing...
First base.
Okay.
You got and this goes to things. The Stubby trying to clear the area is ejected for his actions then?
No doubt about it. I just watched the video. He's making sure that that guy doesn't come after one of ours. He's holding him back. I don't see an issue with it at all. I watched it several times before coming in here, and he's keeping their guy from getting on top of one of ours. So I'm okay with it.
What's your choice? Oh, sorry.
Given the way that Nolan comes up in that situation, up 5 runs, probably the last time you guys are going to get up to bat, do you or your team have an inkling that something like that is coming?
I think my 4-year-old had an inkling it was coming. Yeah.
Did you consider pulling Nolan so that he wasn't in that situation, or is that something you just have to send him up?
No.
Ollie's 4-year-old knew it was coming. That's great.
Well, she's pretty smart. She's been around baseball her whole life. I think that's part of it. But, I thought, again, there's another perfect example of Ollie Marmol just, giving it, shooting it straight, telling you exactly what he thinks. And, people are going to have different opinions on it. Sure. And when you compete, and he did start by saying it was a highly competitive game, two teams very good, and kind of makes me start thinking about the 80s again with the Mets and the Cardinals and the kind of amped up emotions here at the ballpark. But Ollie kind of didn't shy away from, at least his opinion. It's like he didn't like the way the umpires handled it. He didn't like the end result of him having two guys tossed. And it is good to hear that, not good to hear, but it's makes more sense to hear about Dylan Carlson, that he actually had that play at first base, and it had nothing to do with what happened on the field, and that's why they took him out of the game. So and it sounds like he's going to be fine. And apparently x-rays were negative on Davis, who was hitting the ankle. So yeah, I know the Mets are tired of getting hit. There's no question. They've been through this a few times already, so this is not new territory for them, and maybe it's just part of their personality as a team right now. And certainly they've got a very good team, and they pitch well and they hit well.
Wild one at Busch today as the Cardinals come out on top 10-5. Here comes the bullpen. We got more Cardinals Live when we come back on Valley Sports.